What's going on, baseball fans? How you doing? We're talking DJ LeMahieu, Andrew Benintendi, Kris Bryant. Let's get to it. And what is going on, baseball fans? How do you like that intro? I worked on that today. I think that looked pretty good. I think it looked all right. I'm just saying. I kind of liked it a little bit. Hope you all liked it as well. Figured the intro needed a little sprucing up. So hope that got you ready to talk some baseball tonight. I am seeing a good amount of people in here already. 74 people. How you doing? Seeing a lot of familiar faces. That's always good to see. Hope you all had a good weekend. Hope you all had a good Monday. James Scott, thank you very much. Hope you're doing good. Edmund, what's going on? Alex, hello. Jonathan, what's going on? Yo, Gamer45, what is happening? KF, hello. Nathaniel Porter, what is going on? Jared, Chester, Oscar. Anyone else that I missed? Hello, welcome. So tonight we got some news to talk about. What do you know? The slow off season continues. I continue to want to bash my face into a brick wall. Nothing is happening. All we have is just chit chat. But at least we do have something to talk about along the lines of DJ LeMahieu. We got some Kris Bryant talk. We got some Andrew Benintendi talk. So we're in for a good night of talking some baseball. So let's get right to it. But before I start, I got to do the cheap plugs. I'm sorry, everyone. But if you are new in here right now, you're just joining. You have no idea what the heck is going on. We're talking baseball all the time. So if you are looking for more baseball news, looking for more baseball content, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button for me, everyone. I'd like to get to 75 likes tonight. I'm going to increase the goal for tonight. We were at 50 the last couple of streams. Let's try and get to 75 by tonight. And also go follow me on Twitter. I'm talking baseball there throughout the day. Also, if you missed the last couple of streams, I talked some trades. So you can go find this on my channel. This was about an hour long. So these were some trades that I would like to see happen, or at least something along the lines of the trades that I proposed in this stream. So if you're bored later, go check it out if you haven't seen it already. And on Friday night, I made some updates to my free agent predictions. I mean, I'm always wrong, so what does it even matter? But if you are bored, you want to go take a look at that, and if you missed it, hey, go check it out. So, all right, everyone, let's get to our first bit of news. So, DJ LeMahieu, pretty interesting turn of events with DJ LeMahieu in the last 24 hours. So, there is frustration growing among DJ LeMahieu's camp. So, let's just get right into it. DJ LeMahieu, he's looking to talk to some other teams. He's getting sick and tired of waiting around for the Yankees. He's telling his agent, "All right, let's go talk to some other teams. The Yankees, they're not upping their offer, so we're going to go talk to some other teams." So, however, I see both sides to this. I can understand why DJ LeMahieu, he's getting frustrated, but I can also understand why the Yankees are not upping their offer, which is supposedly about 4 years, somewhere in the $85 to $90 million range. I think it was at around $88 million, but let's get to the article here. Let's share the screen. Here we go. So, DJ LeMahieu, here is the latest. The stalemate between the Yankees and DJ LeMahieu isn't showing any signs of ending, and it may have opened the door for other teams to re-enter the hunt. According to Yahoo Sports, Tim Brown, LeMahieu has asked his representatives to re-engage with teams that have previously shown the most interest and to reconnect with teams that reached out early in the free agent period. So this This group includes at least 6 teams: the Blue Jays, Braves, Cardinals, Dodgers, Mets, and my Red Sox. That one is a little surprising to me. I'll talk about that here in a second. The Astros and maybe the Nationals were also linked to LeMahieu earlier this winter. Of the 6 clubs cited, it was already known that the Mets, Dodgers, and Jays were in, with Toronto mentioned as the batting champion's most fervent suitor apart from the Yankees. So let's kind of see, or let's kind of just reassess here. Right now, DJ LeMahieu, he is looking for, if you take a look right here, he's looking for at least 5 years and $110 million. So that's what they're thinking he is worth. The Yankees right now, I believe they're around $25 million short. So they're looking at around, look, I think it's around like 4 years for like $85 million, I believe, something right around that. So, however, LeMahieu, he wants that 5th year. So he has seen some other guys on the market get contracts like this. He wants that kind of a contract. So if you take a look at DJ LeMahieu, let's pull up the stats on him real quick, and let's take a look at exactly why he's looking for this kind of money. DJ LeMahieu has arguably been the Yankees' best player in the last couple of years, and for good reason. I mean, the guy has been playing out of his mind for the Yankees. He hit 364 this past season over a small sample size, but really got it done this past year. An OPS of 1.011, OPS plus of 177, 10 homers, 27 RBIs. This guy was just getting it done for the Yankees. But if you take a look, he was getting it done in 2019 as well. Had the 26 home runs, had the 102 RBIs, hit 327, had the 893 OPS, finished 4th in MVP voting, finished 3rd in MVP voting this past year. DJ LeMahieu has simply just gotten it done, and you could say he has been the MVP for the Yankees in the last couple of years. So I can understand fully, hey, I've been putting up these numbers for you, Mr. Brian Cashman. Give me that 5th year. I want that 5th year. I'm not signing a 4-year deal. I want 5 years. I'm 32 years old. I'm getting towards the end of my career. I want that 5th year. He wants that contract, and I don't blame him. But I can also understand where the Yankees are coming from too, because supposedly there is no other offers right now for LeMahieu, at least an actual formal offer on paper for him. So the Yankees, they're sitting back. They're just saying, hey, we got our offer right here for you. If you don't like what you see out there, we still got our offer here for you. If you want to come back and take it, hey, we'll talk then. But they're telling DJ LeMahieu basically, hey, we're not going that 4th year. They're looking to see what these other teams do. They're looking to see if the Blue Jays are going to top that offer. They're looking to see if the Dodgers are going to top that offer. Maybe the Mets. I mean, even my Red Sox are in it somehow. I'm not sure why I understand why the Red Sox would be in it. I just don't think the Red Sox are really going to be a fit for DJ LeMahieu. Sure, depth chart-wise, yes, they fit, but considering Chaim Bloom, he traded away Mookie Betts to not have to pay that much money. I understand DJ LeMahieu is not going to be making Mookie Betts kind of money, but you're still paying DJ LeMahieu a pretty good amount. He's 32 years old. I mean, I don't know. I just don't see Chaim Bloom doing that. They would have to give up a 2nd-round pick in the draft because the Yankees offered the qualifying offer to DJ LeMahieu. So any team that signs him will have to give up a draft pick, and they're going to have to give up international signing bonus money. And I don't think the Red Sox really want to do that right now. So at least, I don't know. I think maybe what the Red Sox are trying to do, hey, they're poking their head in the door. They're seeing what's going on. Maybe they're trying to up the price because, hey, maybe they're trying to get rid of DJ LeMahieu from that division. They're trying to send him maybe out west to the Dodgers. I don't know. But, however, I will say this. With DJ LeMahieu, I think the Yankees, again, with the Yankees, they have leverage here. They have leverage. Yes, they would love to have a DJ LeMahieu back, but if they don't bring him back, I don't think that's going to be the end of the world for the Yankees. They'll move on. They'll reassess. They can always move Gleyber Torres over to second. He has played a little bit better defensively there. I still think you need to work with him on the defense. He came into camp out of shape this past year, so they're hoping he can come back into camp this year in a bit better shape, and they can always go after a shortstop. I mean, yes, Francisco Lindor is off the board now. He's in Queens, but you still got a guy like Trevor Story out there. Maybe you could make a trade for him, maybe get him signed up long term. You got some free agent shortstops out there, and Andrelton Simmons, who's a wizard with the glove. You got Marcus Semien out there. So there are some options for the Yankees, and I think while they would be kind of bummed out to see a LeMahieu leave, I don't think they're going to be completely heartbroken about it, but they would love to have him back. So I think the Yankees, Cashman, they're playing hardball right now. They're not wanting to go that 5th year. The question is, here's where I'm wondering with DJ LeMahieu. Let me come back to you right now. So the one thing that I'm a little worried about with the Yankees and DJ LeMahieu, I got to be honest with you, this is kind of just my gut. I could be completely wrong, but something about the Blue Jays, man, something about them, they're just sitting out there and they're aggressive this offseason. They have been the joke of the offseason. The Blue Jays are hungry. They are hungry to make a move. They are in on every single free agent. Sure, they could end up being window shoppers this offseason, but the Blue Jays, you see them everywhere. And I don't know what it is. And again, there was also another report that the Blue Jays made an offer for George Springer, 5 years, and I believe for around $115 million. That sounds like what DJ LeMahieu is looking for. Now, are they going to offer that to a DJ LeMahieu? I don't know. But they have made that kind of an offer to a George Springer. So, I don't know. I feel like the Blue Jays, while yes, they do have this young core that they're trying to groom and they're trying to grow with these young players that they have. They got a very talented offense already. But I really think that while the Blue Jays, I think they need starting pitching and maybe an arm in the bullpen more than a DJ LeMahieu. I think the Blue Jays are aggressive, and I think they're going for it. They weren't, to be honest with you, the Blue Jays are a team that were not really affected by the pandemic all that much. The Rogers company up in Toronto, they are a cable and internet company. That's a corporation that owns the Blue Jays. They have not really been affected all that much with the pandemic. They're not holding back when it comes to spending like some of these other teams are. I'm telling you, watch out for the Blue Jays, man. I don't know. There's something about it. If the Blue Jays have a chance to be able to take a DJ LeMahieu away from a rival in the American League East, like the Yankees, I think they'll do it. I think they'll do it. If they are within striking distance, I don't know this. I haven't read this anywhere. It's just a gut feeling. I just feel like this is a team that's hungry. They're aggressive. They're looking to make some moves. And he fits perfectly. They need an infielder. They don't need George Springer. Well, of course, they would love to have a George Springer. But really, depth chart-wise, logistically, they need a DJ LeMahieu more than a George Springer. They could have a guy plug in right there at third. You can move Kevin Biggio over to third. LeMahieu can play some second. LeMahieu can play all over that infield. You got Bo Bichette at short, so you're fine there. But DJ LeMahieu would be a perfect fit in Toronto. So, and again, another team to look out for. I've been hearing this team a lot lately. I do wonder how motivated they are, and that's the Dodgers. The Dodgers, to get LeMahieu, they would have to blow through that luxury tax. They would have to just blow right through it. And it wouldn't even be close. They would go right through that luxury tax with ease. So are they really, sure, they are in win now mode. They got a ton of talent on that team. They are primed to go for another World Series in 2021. So, I just wonder with Andrew Friedman, is he gonna want to try and, I don't know. He seems like the kind of guy where I don't think he really wants to just go crazy with the money. I think he wants to, I think he just seems more sensible to me, coming from the Rays. I feel like I just wonder how serious they are for a DJ LeMahieu. Are they going to want to just blow through that luxury tax? That's the only thing that's holding me back with the Dodgers. If they were far away from that luxury tax line of $210 million, then I'd be like, oh yeah, the Dodgers? Oh, totally. But it's just that luxury tax line. I'm not quite sure where they're going to be at. I just personally think DJ LeMahieu on the Blue Jays, it's a great fit. They have the money. And if they have the chance to take him away from the Yankees, I'm just saying. But then I wonder, I think the Yankees might be waiting for something like that. They're going to have DJ LeMahieu come back to them for one last offer. And then maybe the Yankees, if they need to, they'll go that 5th year. It's all about that 5th year. I think LeMahieu, he is looking for that security for a 5th year. So in that 5th year, he'll be 37 years old. So, I mean, historically, look at Justin Turner. He's 36 years old. You never want to be going into free agency at 36 years old. Historically, they have never really gotten great contracts at 36 years old. So I understand what LeMahieu's doing here. He wants to get to that 37-year-old mark with a guaranteed salary that year, because historically, they just don't get paid in that year of that age. Historically, a 36-year-old player has never received a 4-year contract. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens here. Again, the Yankees, they're simply just playing some hardball right now, and I don't blame them. However, look out for the Blue Jays. Look out for the Blue Jays. I don't think my Red Sox are going to be a threat. I think they're just kind of there. They're just causing some nonsense. I don't think sure, I would love to have a DJ LeMahieu. Who wouldn't? I would love to have LeMahieu. He would be great. We could use a bat like that. But realistically, does he really fit into the Red Sox timeline? No. But does he fit depth chart wise? Yeah. I don't know, Heim Bloom, the coupon king. He's probably right now at Dollar General looking at the clearance rack right now, looking to see if he can find himself a second baseman there. So I don't think he's going to go after a DJ LeMahieu. I'm just saying. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. So tell me in the chat. Wow, we got 161 people right now. That is awesome. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. Hope you're all doing wonderful. Tell me in the chat, do you think DJ LeMahieu is going to go back to the Yankees? Do you think this new development means he is going to go to another team? Or do you think he's going to go back to the Yankees? Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you think he's still going to go back to the Yankees, or give me a thumbs down if you think he's going to go elsewhere. Tell me what you think in the chat. Jackson, no, he does not think he's going to go to the Yankees. Jace thinks he's going back. Chester with the thumbs down thinks he's going elsewhere. Yes, James, I agree. The Yankees have the leverage here. The Yankees have the leverage. They can make some other moves. But they would love to have him. Sean Norton, I think pride will make him go elsewhere. Sean, I kind of have that feeling too. It just feels like, LeMahieu, he's getting frustrated with the slow market. I mean, but can you blame him? All of these free agents, I mean, of course, they're going to be making millions of dollars, so I can't really feel bad for them. I mean, they're getting paid millions of dollars to play a game. But, they're the best of the world at what they do. But in a way, I do feel for them a little bit, because you also have to take into consideration, too, these guys are looking for work. I mean, at the end of the day, they're looking for work. They're going to find the work at the end of the day. But they don't want to be going into spring training around that time, not knowing where they're even going to be playing. They don't even know where they're going to be living. I mean, you got to kind of think of that as well, realistically too. If DJ LeMahieu wants to sign a long-term deal, he's got to figure out all this other stuff too. You got to figure out where you're going to live. Where's your kid going to go to school? You got to figure out all that kind of stuff too. And that's something I think a lot of people seem to forget about, is these people do have lives. They have kids. They have a family. Yeah, sure, they're going to get a nice house wherever they go, but, they want their kids to get set up with school and everything, so on. And, you're a human being. You want to just figure out where you're going to be for the next 5 years. You want to just figure out all the logistic things in your own life. So I can understand where these players are getting a little frustrated. I mean, as fans, we're growing very frustrated. So, alrighty, everyone. Oh, Logan Jones. What's up, Logan Jones? Thank you so much for the $2.99 super chat. DJ is coming to LA. I definitely think I could see the Dodgers going after him. I'm not saying that they're not going to go after him. I just don't know how they're going to approach the luxury tax. That's where I'm just a little hung up. I just don't know. So, hey, if Friedman's okay with going over, just blowing through that luxury tax line, then they have a really good shot at him. So, everyone, let's move on to our next story. Let's move on. So we're going to talk about, we're going to move away from free agency here. We're going to move away from free agency, and we're going to talk about a guy that's been on the trade block for what seems like a long time now, but it has been heating up in this offseason, and that's Kris Bryant. So according to reports this past weekend, is that there was something out there saying that the person that was reporting this was saying that he would not be surprised to see Kris Bryant traded this past weekend. Well, the weekend has come and gone. The weekend has come and gone, and there's no trade. So, not really sure how accurate that report was. I'm not sure how deep into talks they were. But Kris Bryant, it was looking, according to reports, at least that Kris Bryant was going to be on the move sooner rather than later, but nothing has happened yet. So let's share the screen. Let me give credit where it's due. Here we go. So DJ LeMahieu. So it was reported a while back that the Mets and the Cubs, they broke off talks for Kris Bryant. I just wonder if the Mets are going to go after a Kris Bryant now that they have a Francisco Lindor. I think they're really trying to go after a George Springer. I think that's their main target right now. I think they can find a way to fit him in and stay under the luxury tax. They're going to have to make some things happen logistically. But Kris Bryant, so this is according to Andy Martino of SNY. He was hearing that he could be traded as soon as this weekend. Where was that? Here we go. So amid increasing industry chatter that the Cubs will trade Kris Bryant as soon as this weekend, and the Mets of Cubs have not spoken in several weeks. So that makes me wonder. Oh, actually, I saw another report. Let's see, Kris Bryant. There was a report today that Kris Bryant and the Blue Jays had talked at least recently. So let's go right here. And also Eugenio Suarez, his name has been floating around out there as well, along with Mike Moustakas. So if we take a look here at Mr. Kris Bryant. So it says here, according to John Morosi, the Blue Jays, still seeking a major offseason move, are among the clubs that have checked with the Cubs on Kris Bryant, but there haven't been active talks between the teams in recent weeks. So it looks like the Blue Jays, I think the Blue Jays, they started to focus on Francisco Lindor because there were reports out there that they had made an offer, but the Indians simply just liked the Mets offer better. So because the Mets had a combination of major league talent that's ready for the major leagues now, and guys with high upside that were pretty far away as well. So that's why the Mets went with the Indians went with the Mets trade offer instead of the Blue Jays, because the Blue Jays were offering more high upside guys. So this is why I think the Blue Jays have not been in contact with the Cubs lately. But now that Francisco Lindor is off the board, he's off the board now. So maybe the Blue Jays can turn back around and they can go after him. But then again, I think they're going hard after LeMahieu. I just kind of went on a rant about LeMahieu. Look at Mr. Francisco Lindor in that Mets hat. John Morosi tweeted something today. I don't know. It was like the... Did anyone see that tweet today that he posted? He tweeted out. What did he tweet out? He said Francisco Lindor is wearing a Mets hat at his Zoom conference call. Well, duh, John Morosi. This is his press conference, basically, for the Mets. Of course he's going to be wearing a Mets hat, John Morosi. What do you think, he's going to be wearing an Indians hat? You think he's going to be wearing a Yankees hat? You think he's going to be wearing a KBO hat? Of course he's going to be wearing a Mets hat, John Morosi. Oh, John Morosi, you made my head hurt today. Anyway, I digressed. Anyway, but again, Blue Jays, Cubs, I think DJ LeMahieu is going to be the guy that I think he's going to fall first. I think Kris Bryant is kind of the guy where whoever doesn't get LeMahieu, they're going to go after Bryant. So let's actually go back to Trade Simulator. I was on this last night quite a bit, talking some possible trades. So let's go revisit some trades between Kris Bryant. Let's start with the Blue Jays. I actually had an offer yesterday in last night's show. It was this right here. It was Kris Bryant, and it was a package with Kyle Hendricks going to the Cubs for Simeon Woods Richardson, Alek Manoah, and Miguel Geraldo. So I'm not going to pull this up. So, because this is one that I presented last night, but I think this would be an awesome trade for the Blue Jays. You would get Kris Bryant, who could have a bounce-back season. You got Kyle Hendricks, who would easily be your number 2. I mean, you could even say maybe there's a chance of him being your number 1 in that rotation. I mean, Kyle Hendricks, Hyun-Jin Ryu at the top of that rotation. I mean, that's really good. And then the Cubs are getting a package of players here. So, but let's kind of go back here. Let's take a look at maybe some other possibilities between the Blue Jays and the Cubs. So taking a look, let's just say it was just Kris Bryant. And again, I'm not saying baseball trade values is the end all be all. There's some things I disagree with on here. There's some things I agree with very much. They tend to hit more often than they miss when it comes to, values and whatnot. If you take a look actually real quick, when you look at the Mets Indians trade, do they even still have it? No, they don't have it anymore. They don't have it as the featured trade. But they had the Indians Mets trade for Francisco Lindor, and it was like pretty much even. It was really, really close. So baseball trade values, it's a good resource. But let's take a look. Kris Bryant, let's have him go to the Blue Jays. Let's just say it's just Kris Bryant. So let's say the Cubs, that maybe they throw in a little bit of cash. That way, the Blue Jays can, or actually no, it would be the other way around. So hold on. So the Blue Jays would, wait. Oh, no. It would be the Cubs sending some money with Kris Bryant. So now you have about 8 points to work with here. So, and if you're the Cubs, maybe you could look at a couple of high upside guys. I mean, that's not really a lot of value to play with a Kris Bryant. I mean, if the Cubs throw in some cash there as well to maybe get, squeeze out another prospect, I think this could work. So if you're looking at the Blue Jays here, again, you're looking at high upside guys right now. I mean, you could maybe go for a Miguel Geraldo, but when you look at that, that's really taking up a lot of, at least on what baseball trade values is saying Kris Bryant is. I personally think Kris Bryant needs to have a couple of more points on here. That's just my opinion. I think he's worth more than a 3.7. I understand he's digressed a little bit, but I think Kris Bryant, he's still Kris Bryant. So that's just my opinion. But anyway, so if you're looking at this right now, I mean, you're getting kind of close. So, I mean, if you did this, Miguel Geraldo, he's a power hitting third baseman. That's still a little far away. Maybe you can throw in another guy. I don't know, maybe like a catcher, maybe Adams, something like that. That's pretty close. Cubs are getting a little more value out of that. So I don't know, maybe they give less, a little less cash, and then it's dead even about. Maybe instead of Adams. I mean, again, you're kind of looking at maybe these high upside kind of guys. If we go take a look at the Blue Jays prospects, let's take a look at maybe some high upside guys that maybe the Cubs would be looking at. That's what they got in the Yu Darvish trade. Lots of high upside guys that are really far away, like these teenagers, like 17, 18 years old. I think they got one guy that was like 20. So if we take a look, looking at the Blue Jays, who are some guys that are pretty far away? So maybe if you look from 10 to 20, you got maybe CJ Van Eyck. That's a possibility, possibly. He's very far away. You got Estevan Machado. That could maybe be a possibility as well. A Raquelvin De Castro. Something like these really far away kind of guys. Maybe a Desan Brown. So if we go back here. Hold on. Here we go. So, I mean, you got like Brown right here. Maybe you can make it happen with him. Again, we're only just talking Kris Bryant here. So, if I threw in maybe the number 16 prospect with the Blue Jays, high upside kind of a guy, only 19 years old, and then I don't know. And again, you're kind of close. You're kind of close. But again, this is also including a Miguel Geraldo. Maybe you don't do a Geraldo. Maybe you could do the Yu Darvish route, and you can just go for all these high upside guys, and then you can really start to kind of pick. So, I mean, again, you could do a Desan Brown, maybe the Machado. So let's pull up Machado here. Where is he even on here? So you got Machado right here. Again, you got another 19-year-old kid here, Leonardo Jimenez. I mean, I know this isn't the sexiest trade, but we're kind of playing with what we got here according to value on baseball trade values. So who was that again? That was Jimenez. I don't even know where Jimenez is. I'll just do this as ABC. Be a little easier to find. So here we go. Jimenez. Again, he's about a 2 point. He's just right below a 3. And then you're getting pretty close here. And you got 3 high upside guys. I mean, again, it's not the most sexy. It's not the best looking trade for a Kris Bryant. But you know what? If the Cubs are looking for high upside guys, then maybe you can get something. Maybe they can just get one more guy here. Maybe a Pardinho. Throw him in. And then, yeah. And I think maybe you got something here. Maybe you could even go one more guy. So he is ranked number 12. What's CJ Van Eyck ranked at right now? So I don't know. Maybe you could do a Van Eyck. They just drafted him, so I don't know if they would want to part with him. But I don't know. Maybe like some kind of a package like this. A whole bunch of high upside guys. I mean, again, you're pretty far away, and you are a little separated now by value. But I could see maybe the Blue Jays doing something like this. A ton of high upside guys, prospects in the 10 to 20 range, and you're getting a lot of them. So I don't know. Maybe you take out Van Eyck, and let's try and see if we can make this a little more even. Where was he? He actually has a decent amount of value. So I don't know. Maybe Kloffenstein? What is he at? Is it Kloffenstein? Kloffenstein? It's a funny name. I haven't heard that one before. Actually, he's got a decent amount of value. So we're getting we're getting into the high values now. So again, maybe a DeCastro. Maybe you could look at DeCastro. He's 2.8. So maybe that, so again, you're kind of looking at something like this. I think something like this could end up, like a big group of high upside guys. Let's actually see. 11.20 minus 8.70. So what's that? 2.5. So maybe take out Machado. And then that actually looks pretty even. So right there, 4 high upside guys. They all are in the 10 to 20 range. So I think the lowest ranked prospect out of that group was DeCastro. And DeCastro was the number 17 prospect. So in this trade, you'd be getting the number 17 guy. You'd be getting the number 16 guy. We had Jimenez in there. He would be the number 14 guy. And then you'd get the number 12 guy. So, I mean, again, it's not the best looking trade of all, but I could see the Cubs doing something like this. They throw in some cash. They can take some load off of that salary. He's going to be making around like 18, 19 million this year. So maybe you could do something like this. So, but that's kind of where we're at with Kris Bryant. So it looks like talks are starting to heat up. So definitely look at the Blue Jays. Definitely look at even the Mets. I mean, if you're the Mets, sure, you can make something happen. Again, I'm kind of like thinking realistically, if you're not going to include a Kyle Hendricks, that would definitely be more fun. Then you can start really getting into some like better prospects and whatnot. But if you're looking here, so Kris Bryant, again, let's do the same thing. Let's throw in some cash. So that actually maybe the Mets would like that. Because if they paid off a good amount of his salary, then, then that could be more prospects for the Cubs. They did just give up prospects for Lindor, so I don't know if this is really going to happen. So again, you're kind of looking at kind of some other guys here. New York Mets. So you got some guys, maybe like a Robert Dominguez, an Alexander Ramirez, Endy Rodriguez. I think for Kris Bryant, I think you're most likely, if it's just Kris Bryant, I think you're going to see a package of guys in the 10 to 20 rank on the prospects list. I think kind of similar to what you saw with Yu Darvish. I think that's kind of what you're going to see because Kris Bryant, his value is low. Another team could be the Dodgers. Let's take a look at the Dodgers. The Dodgers got a ton of prospects that they could give. And actually, the Dodgers, in my opinion, this trade I actually presented last night. So this would involve taking on a big contract in A.J. Pollock. You would have to take back his salary, but in return, you could get a guy like Edwin Rios, Bobby Miller, Clayton Beeter, Andy Pages. Again, I'm not saying this is realistic, but, something along these lines where if the Cubs took back a bad contract, in an AJ Pollock. They could use an outfielder, and then they can get a package of young players in return. So, but let's go back here. Let's take a look. Let's not include the big contract. So if we take a look here, going to the Dodgers. So again, Kris Bryant, and let's say, hey, we'll pay most of his salary. Let's just put 5 in there, and then that could be a decent amount of prospects right there. So again, more cash, that would mean, hey, more prospects. If the Dodgers could get Kris Bryant for half, then I think that actually could work. And because I think I think they're paying him like, is it 18 or 19? Well, I think he has arbitration, but I guess he's due for somewhere between like 18 to 19 million, I guess. But again, if you're the Dodgers, you got a ton of prospects here looking for high upside guys, similar to the Yu Darvish trade. So here we go. Let's just go we'll start it around like 10, and we'll just kind of work from there. So let's see. Right now, I mean, maybe, again, I don't know, Clayton Beeter, I think that, how much value does he have? So Beeter's at a 4.5, so that would take out a decent amount. I don't know, maybe they can get Beeter in that kind of a trade, and then you got 4 more points to work with. Andy Pages, I think he's going to be a little too much. He's got a lot of value. Yeah, he's got about 9. So Andy Pages, no. Maybe a Miguel Vargas. Hey, a third baseman. Instead, you get a third base prospect in return. So Vargas is at a 4.6. So I don't know. Then I don't know, Jake Vogel. He's pretty far away. He's only 19 years old. Let's see what he's at. So Vogel, he's at 2.4. So that actually maybe you could see him as a part of a trade. Again, taking a look at the really young guys, 23. I'm looking for like 18 to 20-year-old guys. Maybe an Alex DeJesus. Again, high upside guys, DeJesus. So DeJesus is at 4.6. I'm just going to put all these guys here, and then I'm going to kind of like look at their values, and then we can kind of take a pick. So another guy, I mean, you're kind of, man, they have good prospects, man. The Dodgers have the prospects to get this done. I mean, you're really going down the list now. Maybe Jimmy Lewis, possibly. Take a look at Jimmy Lewis. He's at a 1, so maybe something like that. I don't know, but maybe we can take a kind of a look between these guys here. So, I mean, maybe I would want to, DeJesus actually sounds decent. Shortstop, 18 years old. He's got 50 power, 50 hit tool, good arm, not too fast, doesn't have too much of the fielding. So I don't know. I don't like DeJesus. I'm going to take DeJesus off. So DeJesus, nah, I'm not too big of a fan of that. So let's take him off. Not a big fan. I want a guy that has like a feel for hitting. Well, actually, no. I didn't read that part. Let me see. What did they say about DeJesus? He has a chance to hit for both power and average. He'll need to improve his pitch recognition and discipline. So I don't like that. I like guys that already have an advanced feel for hitting. So that's something that you would like to read. If you looked at the Cubs prospects that they got, the Cubs prospects in the Yu Darvish trade, they all had a very similar thing. They all had like this common denominator where they all had like a good feel for hitting already. They had like a good baseball IQ. So that's what the Cubs were looking for. So I'm going to take DeJesus out. Let's go take a look at Vogel. So Vogel, he was at number 14. So, hey, this could be someone. He's got a 70 run grade, so he's very athletic. Good hit tool, not really too much of the power right now. He's only 5'11". So really how much, not too much room to grow. But right now, Vogel's most impressive tool is his speed, which consistently grades as a ++. He can wreak havoc on the bases, covers a lot of ground out in the field, strong arm. So again, Vogel may need to make some adjustments at the plate in pro ball. He makes repeated contact with a simple right-handed swing, so that's good to read. And while he can drive the ball on occasion, he doesn't do so on a consistent basis. Player development department is renowned for its ability to help players maximize their offensive potential. So it says right here, he's a project. Maybe the Cubs are intrigued with that. So let's keep him in there. I'll keep Vogel in there. Let's take a look at Vargas. Miguel Vargas, taking a look at him. He possesses some of the best bat-to-ball skills in the system. The main reason why Los Angeles hasn't been afraid to push him. So he has a fine understanding of his right-handed swing. I'm going to keep him in this trade. I think that would be a good one. Keep Vargas in here. And then, so I'm going to take off Beater. And then look at that. You're pretty close. Maybe take out Lewis, and then you can put in someone else. So, I don't know. Maybe just a guy that's like so you're at what? You're at 1.7 right now. So, I don't know. Just throwing a guy that has 1.7. So, you got Carrillo, Santana, Rayleigh. So, where do these guys rank? Maybe, yeah, right here. So maybe Carrillo, the number 16 prospect. So, and then and look at that. And then you're looking pretty good. I actually kind of like this trade. I think with the Cubs, you'd be getting good upside here. Vargas, he's got a good feel for hitting. Carrillo, or Vogel, he's a project kind of a guy. Carrillo, pitching prospect. Let's take a look at him. So he's got a fastball that can hit 100. Look at that. Again, these are like high upside guys. A 65 fastball, a 60 slider. The only problem is his control. I like this trade. I like this trade a lot. I think, you got a decent package of prospects here. You get the number 13 guy, the number 14 guy, and the number 16 guy. Throw in some cash, and I think this deal gets done. So, yeah, and that's a good point too, David. You get a first baseman who can maybe replace Rizzo. Vargas here. Taking a look one more time at Vargas. So they have Vargas. They have him listed as a third baseman. So let's see what they have. He lacks speed and quick twitch athleticism. So that sounds like a corner guy. But he has worked hard to improve his body and range at third. Despite his solid arm strength, scouts and other organizations... they're questioning whether or not he can stay there. So, but at least he has first base. Maybe he could be the next guy up after an Anthony Rizzo, like you said, David. So... something like this. And you know what? I'm going to post it. That looks like a good trade to me. We put some thought into that one. We actually looked at some prospects. We actually looked at their scouting grades. I think this trade actually makes a lot of sense for the Cubs. You get a few high upside guys. So, but that's all I have for that. And then, I don't know. Let's take one quick look. I feel like I'm talking too much about Kris Bryant right now. But if you take a look, I'm not going to really actually plug anything in because I want to move on. Maybe the Atlanta Braves. The Braves maybe could make a run at him. But they got some guys here. They got some prospects. All right, fine. I'll plug in some stuff real quick for Braves fans out there. So here we go. Cubs, taking a look. Again, looking for high upside guys. Cubs. I mean, he would fit really well. What do you do with an Austin Riley? That's the only other question. Can Austin Riley play left? Can he play left? He can play left. Move Austin Riley out to left, and you can put Kris Bryant at third. I kind of like that. I kind of like it. Why not? So let's do it. Let's see if we can get Kris Bryant. Here we go. So I think the Braves, they got good prospects as well. So let's put Kris Bryant on the Braves. Let's put some cash. Again, we're working with around about 8 points of value. And then for the Cubs, let's just go take a look. High upside guys. I want young guys. Michael Harris, that's the first guy that sticks out right to me. 19 years old, far away. He's got 50 hit, 45 power. He's got 60 runs, so he's athletic. He's only got a 45 overall, but he's got a good arm. Harris has a bundle of tools, all a bit raw, though he certainly showed more with the bat. He's a switch hitter, made consistent contact, plenty of raw power. He's still learning to refine his approach. All right, I think that's okay. We can put Michael Harris in there. Let's put Harris. Well, let's actually take a look at his... I'm going to just look at just minor leaguers here. Harris, where are you at? Oh, wait, which one is it? Oh, there's two Harrises? I'm guessing... Oh, which one is it? Whoa, you got two Harrises, 12 and 13? Oh, I don't know which one this is. Which one is it? Oh, I don't know which one. I'm guessing the higher guy. I've seen some guys lower on this list have more points than guys that are higher. I don't know which one. You can't click on the guy, so I don't know his name. Oh, come on. Oh, all right. We're gonna leave Harris just completely. All right, fine, whatever. I'll do this Harris because he's 2.5, so that makes sense. I'm guessing he's the number 13 guy. Well, he's 24. So that's what I'm saying. I think Tyrone Harris might actually have more value because he's closer to Major League ready. So I think it's actually going to be this. Hold on, wait. My brain is getting like really confused. So I think Michael Harris, this is Michael Harris. I think this is the right one. So the one that's closer to Major League ready, he's at 7.6. So this is the right one. So you could be getting the number 12 prospect. Let's take a look. Keep going down the list. Bryce Elder, college arm out of Texas. Just got drafted. Let's see what Elder's looking like. He's only at a 1.1. Sure, let's throw him in there too. Taking a look. Victor Vodnik. Taking a look at Mr. Vodnik. 2.9. That sounds good to me. That sounds like a bargain. Here we go. Keep going down this list. All right, so now we're getting into 20. I don't really want to get too far down on the list. So, I don't know. Maybe you could... I don't know. Maybe Bryce Ball. Number 19 guy. Let's put Bryce Ball in there. Mr. Ball. Where are you? Oh, wow. He's got a 4.9. Actually, oh, no, never mind. I was about to say. No, so, okay. You're looking at something like this. Maybe you can take out Elder, and then you're kind of close. You know, you're overpaying a little. So maybe the Cubs give a little more cash, and then you can get a decent package. So I don't know. I actually think the Dodgers trade actually looked really good. I like that Dodgers trade. I'll still post this one. I'll put some more cash. So, and then it'll be even. So let's take that out. Put 7. So you're going to have to pay a decent amount. But then again, so there you go. So you're looking pretty even here. 10.7 to 10.3. Something like that. So you could get something done. Again, the common denominator here is this. High upside guys. That's what the Cubs are looking for. Now, if you throw in Kyle Hendricks, well then that's when you start to have some fun. Then you can start getting these other big players involved. You can get these major league guys involved. Okay, I have talked too much about Kris Bryant. I want to talk about the guy that's on my team for once. The guy that's a Red Sox player, Andrew Benintendi. On the trade block. And I just wonder, what the heck are they going to get for an Andrew Benintendi? He's had a down year in the last couple of years. 2020 was a lost season. 2019, he started to digress. Let's go take a look here. So Andrew Benintendi is on the trade block. So let's actually pull up the article real quick. Here we go. Okay, so here it is. This was over the weekend. So, Red Sox discussing Andrew Benintendi in trade talks. The Boston Red Sox have been in serious trade talks about the possibility of moving left fielder Andrew Benintendi, writes The Athletic's Jim Bowden. So, this was the tweet that he sent out. I'm going to say this about Jim Bowden. Over the years, for as long as I've known Jim Bowden, or been following Jim Bowden, or is it Bowden? I always forget how to pronounce it. This guy has missed a lot. I don't remember the exact trades. There was so much stuff that he would report on ESPN. Well, then again, I hate ESPN, so maybe they were making him make up all this stuff all the time. I don't know, whatever. But Jim Bowden, this guy, over the years, over the last 15 years or so, 10, 15 years, this guy has made a lot of reports. And it just seems like a lot of it does not come true. So I don't know what to think of this, I guess. But it says, according to multiple sources, I always hate the word sources. I don't know, whatever. Maybe I just don't like Jim Bowden all that much. But the Red Sox have been in serious trade talks with multiple teams. Andrew Benintendi looking for prospect-type returns with emphasis on pitchers and outfielders. So I want to actually give a shout-out on baseball trade values. So this, I don't know. He says he's a big fan of the channel, but he made a pretty good trade here. I wasn't totally sold on this trade, but I liked where he was going with it. So there was one trade here. If we take a look here, again, for an Andrew Benintendi, it's kind of like a Kris Bryant. It's not going to be a very sexy kind of a trade. But let's actually, real quick, before I get back to that trade, let's take a look at why Benintendi's value has fallen down so much. This was a guy, he was drafted 7th overall in the 2015 draft out of Arkansas. He was really good when he came up. 2016, he was, he was hitting pretty well in that year in over 34 games. 2017 had a really good year, finished 2nd in Rookie of the Year. 2018, he had a solid year, 830 OPS. 2019, not a bad year by any means, but it wasn't the kind of year he took more of a slight step back instead of a big step forward like a lot of people were hoping. And then 2020, just a lost year. So over the last couple of years, he's lost a lot of value. So the power numbers went down, everything went down. So let's actually take a look, Baseball Savant. Let's take a look at the advanced numbers with a Benintendi. Maybe that can tell us a little more. Here we go. So Mr. Benny Ballgame, what do you got for me here on the advanced stats? He didn't even play this past year. So they basically have no numbers on him right now. But if you take a look at how he was in 2019, he actually had good exit velocity in 2019. That was the highest exit velocity that he's averaged in his career, 89.1. That was actually better than his 2017 season, almost 2 miles per hour more. He had a much higher barrel percentage in 2019. So the ex-WOBA was still pretty decent in 2019. Hard hit percentage was up. Andrew Benintendi wasn't that bad in 2019. Again, he had that slight down year. He was striking out more in 2019. So here's basically what was going on with Andrew Benintendi. This guy started to swing for the fences. He got away from his game. This guy started to tried to start hitting more home runs. You can see the exit velocity's up. You can see the strikeouts are up, and you can see the walks are down. It did not produce more home runs. It didn't produce more really of anything. He did hit the ball harder, but what Andrew Benintendi is, he's a guy, he's going to hit balls in the gaps. He's going to get extra base hits. He's not really a home run kind of a guy. So if we take a look at Andrew Benintendi, where I see Andrew Benintendi, I see him as a guy like a 15 to 20 home run guy, maybe 80 to 90 RBIs. He's a guy that sets the table. He's a guy that sets the table. He's an on-base guy that should be near the top of your order. This is not a guy that's going to drive in a ton of runs. And I think he tried taking that step forward in 2019. And yeah, sure, he was hitting the ball harder, but it didn't really translate to results. And then 2020, I don't know, maybe something he was doing in 2019, he just got completely out of whack and he was just completely messed up. So teams, right now, Andrew Benintendi is a slight project kind of a guy. So Benintendi right now, he's a mess. So, however, I think Alex Cora, him coming back, I think Alex Cora is a fantastic manager because Alex Cora has a great feel for the game. He played the game for a long time. His eyes are as good as any managers in this game. I think Alex Cora is going to be really good for Andrew Benintendi if Benintendi stays in Boston, which a part of me hopes he does. I hope we get to see him try to have a bounce back year. Maybe he could be a comeback player of the year. Comeback player of the year candidate this year. So Andrew Benintendi, that was the problem. He tried hitting for more power. That's not his game. He's not a power hitter. He's a guy that hits balls in the gaps. He's a guy that's going to be setting the table at the top of the lineup, maybe hitting leadoff, maybe batting second. Oh, we got a super chat coming in. Hey, Philip Beasley. Thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. I appreciate that. Hey, Philip, if you got like a question or whatever in the type it in the chat. So you're always more than welcome to ask a question with your super chats. So if you think of anything, write it in the chat. Thank you so much for the $5, my friend. Really appreciate that. So we're at 130 people right now. So everyone, before I get more into Benintendi here, if you can, hit that like button for me. Let's actually check where we're at. We're at 82 likes. Wow, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Wow, we're 18 likes away from getting to 100. So hit that like button for me. And if you are new in here right now, you have yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button. So here we go. Looking at this trade, I want to give a shout out to D Cox what the heck am I saying? D Cox 0139. So he submitted this trade. It's actually a featured trade right now on Baseball Trade Values. He wrote down below, he said to me, he's a big fan of my channel. So I already like him already. So thank you so much. I don't know if he's here right now. So, but here was the trade. So Benintendi and Zephyrhan going to the Cardinals. And then for the Red Sox, you would get Fernandez and Woodford. So I was thinking at first, I'm like, who the heck are these guys? So I went and took a look. And I'm thinking to myself, like, come on, this can't be that good. So, and I took a look. So let's actually take a look at the Cardinals. These prospects that would be involved. And you know what? These sound, at least Fernandez, he sounds like a Chaim Bloom kind of a guy. And I'm going to tell you why. So I'm going to make a connection to that Mookie Betts trade last year. So if we take a look at Junior Fernandez, this is a guy, he's 23 years old. He made an appearance this year in St. Louis. This is a guy, he's got a 65 grade for the fastball. He's got a lot of velocity. He's got a decent slider. He's got an above average changeup. The only thing that holds him back is the control. That's the only thing that holds him back. If you take a look at his stats, he did pitch in 2019 over 13 games. So not the most success, but he did have a lot of strikeouts. This past year, he only pitched 3 innings. Didn't really get much done. So he's been in the minors for a while now. He debuted in his professional career in 2014. So, ever since then, he's been kind of bouncing around through the minors. 3.7 or 3.57 ERA. He's got a decent amount of strikeouts, I believe. I don't know if you guys can see that far, but looking at the strikeouts, he has 326 strikeouts over. Or actually, it looks like the strikeouts started to get better as he went on. So in 2019, between high A, double A, and triple A, he had 80 strikeouts over 65 innings. So he started to figure something out with the strikeouts. I'm not sure if he changed something or not. But you know who this reminds me of? Think about it. High velocity. He's a reliever, most likely a bullpen arm. If we take a look here, Fernandez makes a living by pitching off of a plus sinker. Remember that, a plus sinker that flirts with triple digits and averaged 96.8 miles an hour in his first big league exposure. He induces more ground balls than whiffs with the pitch, but gets plenty of the latter with his above average changeup. Tell me in the chat if you guys can think of who I'm thinking of. Tell me in the chat, can you guys think of the player that I'm thinking of when I look at Junior Fernandez? Tell me in the chat. Let's see if you guys can think of who I'm thinking of right now when I'm looking at Junior Fernandez. There it is. BZ Baseball, Cannon, Brusdar Gratterall. Who did Chaim Bloom trade for, did make the trade for last offseason with Mookie Betts? It didn't go through, but who was the guy that he went after? Brusdar Gratterall. I'm just saying. Again, this person, D Cox 0139, good job. Because this is the kind of guy that Chaim Bloom likes to go after. This is the guy that Chaim Bloom, the type of pitcher that Chaim Bloom likes to go after. A lot of velocity. Chaim Bloom loves his bullpen arms. And he's got a plus sinker. But on top of the sinker, he has a good changeup that he uses as a strikeout pitch. So this guy maybe sounds a little better than a bruised R Gratterall. So I want to say this again. If you are here, Mr. D Cox 0139, this is, you know what? At first, when I looked at this at first, I was kind of like, huh? Who is Junior Fernandez? And then Woodford, also like with Woodford, let's take a look at Woodford. Taking a look. Again, you're going to have to kind of really look through the minor league system to really, but that's the kind of guy that Chaim Bloom likes to go after. He likes power arms that can go in the bullpen. And if you take a look at what he likes to do with starting pitchers, he goes after a Nick Pivetta who has a good curveball. He went after a Connor Seabold who has a good changeup. This is kind of the thing that you're looking at with Chaim Bloom. He looks for these particular things that where maybe the body of work doesn't look all that good, but he looks for from what he's looked for in starting pitchers so far. Chaim Bloom, he likes to look for, this is how Chaim Bloom does his work. This is what I'm noticing with him. He looks for these guys that are on the trash heap. They're basically, they can't figure out what to do with this guy. But Chaim Bloom, he looks at one thing that is really good with a guy like a Nick Pivetta. He had one of the best curveballs a couple years ago. He still had a really good curveball last year. The numbers were not there, though. So Chaim Bloom says, hey, I'll take Nick Pivetta for you. I like Nick Pivetta. Here, I'll work with him. We'll work with him. He took Nick Pivetta. Connor Seabold, not a top prospect by any means, not a very low prospect by any means, middle of the range kind of a prospect. Connor Seabold is known for a really good changeup. So he looks for guys that have redeeming qualities for starting pitchers. He looks for redeeming qualities like plus pitches. He looks for those. And then for bullpen arms, he looks for power arms. And then guys that have like a plus pitch as well, like a sinker or a changeup. So that's what I'm noticing with Chaim Bloom. But also, Jake Woodford was included in this trade as well. This is a starting pitcher. Let's actually take a look. Maybe let me see does he have anything? Let's see. Woodford. I would love it, man, because this is do they have him out of the bullpen? I think they have him out of the bullpen. So he did start a game. In the minors. Okay, no, he started games. So, Jake Woodford. Again, not really great numbers, but he doesn't walk a lot of guys. Again, a redeeming quality. This is what Chaim Bloom looks for. Again, not great numbers, but he doesn't walk a lot of guys. Look at the curveball spin rate. Not great by any means, but it's middle of the pack. It can be an effective curveball. Let's dig a little deeper. So taking a look, this guy's got 5 pitches. Can I just say this right now? Can I just say that what I just said is exactly what I was saying? I've never even looked up this guy before. Look at this. Look at this. This is the kind of a guy that Chaim Bloom I could see going after. Look at the curveball, the vertical movement. This is exactly what I was just saying with Nick Pivetta and Connor Seabold. They have this one pitch that can be really good. And there you go. So, I'm just saying, I literally said the same thing just a second ago with Nick Pivetta. I could really see this trade happening. This kid's a genius. We got to find this kid. I want to talk to this kid. I got a lot to learn from this kid. Or are you a kid? I don't know who you are. I'm sorry. If you're an adult, I have a lot to learn. Whoever you are, I don't care. I have a lot of questions. So, but yeah, well, would the Cardinals give him up? I don't know. But again, getting back to this trade, I could see the Red Sox. I didn't mean to just dive so deep into this trade, but this is, I think, what the Red Sox are going to look for when it comes to a Benintendi trade. And then an outfielder who has, plus tools, or has like 1+ tool, or something that maybe he could turn into something. So, or like a very high upside kind of a guy. So let's actually go back here. I'm going to plug this trade in. And I'm actually going to do some more digging when it comes to these prospects. That really opened my eyes today because I commented on that trade. And I said, like, nah, I think the Red Sox would more likely go after an Alex Reyes. And then I thought, and I kind of just looked into it more, and I was like, this actually makes a lot of sense. And so, hey, every day, I don't know everything. I'm a big baseball fan, but I don't know a lot of things. And, whoever that was, hey, made me open my eyes a little bit. He kind of made me stop just looking so much at like these major league ready guys, these guys with like these great, profiles on their scouting reports and whatnot. It made me look deeper into these guys, and I was really happy that happened today. So, looking at the Cardinals, here we go. So let's kind of plug in a trade. If we're taking a look, Benintendi, let's just do Benintendi, and then I'm gonna put. So we had Fernandez. And then let's see who else here. So let's say the Red Sox reportedly are looking for an outfielder. So let's look for a high upside outfielder. Maybe a Trey Fletcher. Rookie, 19 years old. Maybe Trey Fletcher could be someone. 3. And there you go. Maybe something like this. Maybe the Red Sox throw in another prospect. And then Fletcher, this is the kind of guy I could see Bloom going after as well. Well, let's actually take a look at his scouting. So he's an athletic guy. I know Chaim Bloom, he loves to go after the athletic guys. This guy has speed. He's got a good arm. The hit tool needs to improve, but he has power. So maybe a trade like this for an Andrew Benintendi, a Fernandez, and a Fletcher. I could maybe see something like this. Possibly. Let's take another look at the and again, for the Cardinals, they could use a little more offense. Maybe they take a chance on a Benintendi. So, I don't know. Taking a look, maybe some other outfield. Maybe Justin Williams. Well, maybe Justin Williams. Let's take a look at Justin Williams. I'm guessing his value is going to be pretty high. Justin Williams, where are you at? It looks like he's just about major league ready. Hey, maybe you could do something like this. So, maybe you could get something like that. Take out Fletcher. And then if we take a look at Justin Williams, he doesn't really maybe not. He doesn't really have like a lot of, like if you take a look at like a Trey Fletcher, he has like that 60 run. He has that plus tool. But with Justin Williams, he doesn't really have that plus tool. So, I don't know. He's always intrigued scouts with his natural hitting ability. Okay. Hasn't come together. But again, he's 25 years old and he still hasn't really figured it out too much. So, yeah, I don't know. I'll stick with Trey Fletcher. I like that. So, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. You go for these like high upside guys and maybe you could make something happen there. I think the Red Sox, they would love to be able to get a guy to, plug into their outfield. But if you could get, someone like this. Who was that again? That was Williams. Okay, no, that wasn't the right one. So yeah, again, taking a look, something like this, high upside pitcher, high upside outfielder, maybe something like that for a Benintendi. Again, it's not the best looking trade on the planet, but it's those what this has kind of taught me is really to dig deep onto some of these players. And that's what Chaim Bloom, that's what he was brought to Boston to do. Really dig deep into the scouting. Really look for those underlying qualities that could really make a player flourish down the road. Because if a player has one tool, they have a chance. If they're fast, they have a chance at success. If you got a plus pitch, if you got velocity, you got a chance. Hey, plus changeup, plus curveball, you got a chance. So, and that's what Chaim Bloom's really good at, and that's why he's respected in this league, because he finds those little underlying qualities in these guys. So, anyway, I've talked way too much about Andrew Benintendi. That's enough for Andrew Benintendi. So, but if we're kind of getting back to, just the story at hand, who are some teams that could be interested? I could definitely see the Braves. The Braves, I mean, why not? They could use a left fielder. So maybe the Braves. You could, I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Who are some other teams? I mean, the Cubs. Honestly, the Cubs. I don't know, but the Cubs, they're kind of they're trying to load up on prospects. Maybe I don't know. I don't think, probably not the Pirates. Nationals just got their left fielder, so that's not going to happen. I don't know. Maybe the Brewers. Possibly. Something like that. The Astros, I did a trade with the Astros. So I think there's teams out there. There is a market for a Benintendi. So teams to take a chance. So we'll have to wait and see if anything happens with Benintendi in the next week or two. Who knows? But I definitely think something could happen. What I know is I'm going to play around more with this simulator. I'm going to kind of look at some things. I'm actually going to post that right now. I kind of like that trade. Fernandez and Fletcher. Here we go. Moving on to our next story. I'm going to try and get through these next couple of stories pretty quickly. I've taken up a lot of time talking about DJ LeMahieu tonight, talking about Andrew Benintendi, and talking about Kris Bryant. So let's get through these next couple of stories pretty quickly. The next one, this happened over the weekend. The Nationals have their new left fielder, Mr. Kyle Schwarber. This is a guy that he's had a lot of success in the major leagues. He's won a World Series, great power numbers with the Cubs. However, he was non-tendered this offseason. That was, some people found it surprising. Some people did not find it very surprising. But Kyle Schwarber, he has a new home in Washington. So taking a look here at Mr. Kyle Schwarber, or actually let's take a look at the article first. And again, I think the Nationals, hey, it's not too much of a low risk kind of a move. They're spending a little bit of money. But again, actually looking at the contract, I did post, you know what? Actually, I want to take a look. You guys are really awesome when it comes to the polls that I post. The last poll that I posted over the weekend, I did say that he signed a 1 year, $10 million deal. So, and again, there goes my Michael Brantley prediction. Literally the night before I predicted Michael Brantley to go to the Nationals. That did not happen. So, but most of you, 488 votes. You guys are insane. So 71% of you think it's okay. 22% loved it. 7% hate it. So overall, if we go take a look at the article, so the signing has been officially announced by the Nationals. USA Today's Bob Nightingale reports that the deal also contains an $11 million mutual option for the 2022 season. That option contains a $3 million buyout. So Schwarber's guaranteed money breaks down as that $3 million plus $7 million. So it's guaranteed $1 million, 1 year, $10 million. So if we take a look at Kyle Schwarber, this is a guy I think he can really help out when it comes to bringing some more power, bringing some more RBI potential to that Nationals lineup. He's still going to hit for some power. Again, the OPS was really down this year. It was a small sample size. However, if we go, again, it's 2020, it's 60 games. You didn't even really have a normal spring training. So I hate looking at the 2020 stats because a lot of guys this year had a down year. So if we look at 2019, though, he had 38 home runs in 2019, 92 RBIs, an 871 OPS. He's going to get you some walks. He's going to strike out a bit. But this is a guy in that lineup. You could put him behind Juan Soto, and then you got a chance at, a guy that's going to drive in some runs. So he's not the best protection out there because he does tend to strike out a lot. But man, if he connects on one, he's going to hit the ball a mile. I like the move for the Nationals. I think it works. If we go take a look, it's a simple signing. They have the buyout, so if they want to get out of that contract, they can. So, but if we take a look now at the Nationals depth chart, so if you take a look at what the Nationals have done, they have quietly added a lot of power to this lineup. You got Josh Bell, and now you got Kyle Schwarber. So you can put those guys in the middle of the lineup with Juan Soto. This also takes a lot of pressure off Carter Kieboom. So Carter Kieboom, he had a lot of expectations coming into this season. But now, if Carter Kieboom, if he does not end up getting traded somewhere, I think Carter Kieboom, he has a good amount of protection now. So not protection, but like he can kind of he can just ease into things. You got these other guys that can hit for power. He's not going to be relied on so much as like this middle of the order kind of a guy who's going to, drive in a ton of runs. I mean, I think this lineup has a lot of potential. So you have a pretty good outfield now. So you got Kyle Schwarber out in left. You got Victor Robles in center. And you got Juan Soto out in right. So I like this deal for the Nationals. I think, kind of like what the poll was saying, it's okay. I don't think it's a bad move by any means. But I do love the potential of it. I really think this lineup for the Nationals could end up being pretty good. So moving on to our last story. We're going to stay in the National League East. The Phillies, they got Dave Dombrowski this past offseason. So the Phillies, they're looking at some starting pitching, and they're taking a look. Mr. Dave Dombrowski, he's taking a look at a familiar name, and that is Mr. Anibal Sanchez. Him and Dave Dombrowski very familiar with each other, with their time with the Marlins, with their time with the Tigers. So Anibal Sanchez, this is a guy who I think could definitely go to Philly. Definitely has that connection with Dave Dombrowski. Here we go. Going to share the article with you all. And here we go. So Phillies interested in Anibal Sanchez. The Phillies are exploring the idea of adding Anibal Sanchez to the pitching staff, per MLB insider John Morosi. As Morosi notes, Sanchez began his MLB career in 2006 with the Marlins, playing for the current Phillies manager Joe Girardi. Oh, that's another connection too. Sanchez also has experience dealing with baseball president of operations Dave Dombrowski. He had signed a 5-year deal in 2012 with the Tigers, so he's very familiar with Dave Dombrowski. He wasn't with the Marlins back then. I apologize. He was with the that was the connection, was with Joe Girardi. But Dave Dombrowski, those two were together in Detroit. So if we take a look at Anibal Sanchez, let's take a look. Does he still have something to offer? He had a really down 2020 season, a 6.62 ERA. Again, I don't like to take too much stock into this season, but those aren't great numbers. And he started 11 games, 53 innings, not great with the strikeouts. Really, Anibal Sanchez at this point would be a depth kind of a guy. Again, it just seemed like everyone in Washington had a down year this year. But if you go back to 2019, he was really solid in that World Series campaign, a 3.85 ERA. FIP was higher at a 4.44, but that's okay. He's not going to strike out a ton of guys. Anibal Sanchez is going to be a 4, a 5 in that rotation. Let's actually take a look at the Phillies depth chart. So if you were to sign an Anibal Sanchez, I mean, he would basically just go right in the back. He would kind of just squeeze right in the back end. You would have Aaron Nola, Zach Wheeler, Zach Eflin. Then you would have Anibal Sanchez, and then Vince Velasquez filling out the back end of the rotation. So I think for Anibal Sanchez, I think this would be a decent signing. Why not? He's probably not going to cost a lot of money. He knows Dave Dombrowski. He's familiar with Joe Girardi. So Anibal Sanchez, I think he has something to offer. Let's take a look. How has he done in Philly? Taking a look at how he's done in Philly at Citizens Bank Ballpark. Taking a look at the splits. Alrighty, so pitching-wise, he has not pitched very well at Citizens Bank Ballpark. 5.25 ERA over 16 starts, 84 innings. Hasn't had the most success there, but I think for Anibal Sanchez, the Phillies, they've been kind of trying to cut costs a little bit. I still think they're trying to re-sign JT Realmuto. I don't believe for a second that they're out on him, but I could see them making a cheap move like this, bringing in a Sanchez. You just go right at the back end of the rotation. With Sanchez, if you take a look, let's actually take a look at the innings. Taking a look at the innings. How many innings has he averaged over the last few years? He doesn't miss a lot of starts. So 24 starts in 2018, 17 in 2017. Okay, so he's missed a few. Over the last, from 2019 to 2017, so he averaged 136 innings. I mean, for the back end of the rotation for a 4-5, I think that's fine. And maybe, who knows, maybe he figures something out there. Maybe working with Joe Girardi again, that would be good. You know, in his years with the Marlins, I mean, again, this was a long time ago, but pretty good career with the Marlins. So, yeah, I like this. I like it. I think it would be fine. Why not? but nothing really too much there. It's Anibal Sanchez at the end of the day. He'd be a 4 or a 5. So, everyone, that's all I have for tonight. I rambled on a lot about some trade possibilities with Kris Bryant. I kind of rambled on a lot about Andrew Benintendi, but I hope you guys got something out of it. Hopefully I wasn't just talking a bunch of gibberish and you didn't understand anything I was saying. So DJ LeMahieu, it's going to be interesting to see how that ends up turning out. I'm telling you, I'm going to stick with the Yankees, but don't be surprised if the Blue Jays get him. I'm on the record. I'm not going to be surprised if the Blue Jays get him. That's my gut is telling me. My gut is telling me, man. I'm something about that Toronto Blue Jays team with DJ LeMahieu. I don't know. But then the Dodgers too. The Dodgers are kind of creeping around as they're out there as well. I'm starting to wonder if he's going to go back to the Yankees. I'm starting to get a little bit of doubt. I've had a little doubt in this offseason already with that, but we'll have to wait and see. Kris Bryant, is he going to be traded? I don't know. Andrew Benintendi, is he going to be traded? I don't know. I don't know anything. I mean, I have the brain of a potato, so I know just as much as you do. So you guys know way more than me. Anyway, everyone, if you can, hit that subscribe button before you get out of here tonight. If you are looking for more baseball news, looking for more baseball content, hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button for me before you get out of here tonight. And go follow me on Twitter. I'm talking over there as well. So, everyone, I want to thank you so much for coming out tonight. It was great talking some baseball. If there's any news, I'll be right back here tomorrow night. Everyone, have a great night, and I'll talk to you next time.